Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Brianna Jones.
And welcome to Ookie Spooky Musicals with Cheese, a spooky show where I try to get Andrew and Bree to like musical theater. Oh my god, that's cringe.
Wow, you're really doing something there. You're really putting a lot of effort in.
How are you doing, Andrew?
Well, I'm actually doing really well. You got us to watch an actually good show this week.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a rough week though.
What's going on with you?
Bro, you're not gonna fucking believe this. I've been planting like nonstop.
Johnny Appleseed over here.
Yeah,
starting an apple orchard of your own?
Yeah, and some kid just jumped out of a tree. It was really weird. No. Close the book on that. And I found this new breed of fly trap, and it keeps trying to get me to feed it blood. So, of course, I had to kill a bunch of people. And I'm starting to feel...
You gotta.
I gotta. Because he said I might get my Richard Suckle, and I need that in my life. So, I did it, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
I think I might have girl bossed a little too close to the sun here.
How many people, Jess?
Well, there's this girl I like, and he kind of killed himself. I just didn't help him. Does that really make me culpable for his murder?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's this other guy, my boss, who's also sort of my dad. He was gonna turn me into the police for that first murder, and I was like, hey, why don't you look in that plant? And then the plant did most of the work. I don't think I did anything there. I didn't stop it, but...
It kind of feels like you actually directed it all to happen, and you knew it would happen, and you did it anyways. Also, it sounds like your dad was doing the right thing if he was going to turn you in for a murder.
You know what? I don't need this right now. I'm having a rough week, so let me...
Who else did you kill?
Oh, God. Well, this one's really rough. So, you know that girl I liked? She went over there, and then the plant just attacked her. Too bad where she was about to die, but not so soon that she couldn't get a last bit of a song out.
But, I mean, the plant promised you that you'd get your Richard suckled, and it feels like this is actually getting in the way.
So I had to kill her. I fed her to the plant, because what am I going to do with this body?
You're making bad choices here, my friend.
Yeah, and then I hear they're gonna like mass produce this plant, so shit, what am I gonna do now? I'm standing here like about to end the universe, and I never got my Richard Suckle.
I guess you're just gonna have to profit off of the plant.
Ah, you're right. Capitalism all the way. You can't defeat the means of production.
All right.
Little Shop of Horrors.
On to the mass exploitation of the working class.
This week we're talking about Little Shop of Horrors, and I can hear you say it right here. You've already done that. Well, fuck you. It's Halloween. What other Halloween musicals you got?
We're doing the real one this time. We cheated last time.
We'll explain that later, but this time we're going to focus on the Pasadena Playhouse revival from a couple years ago, starring George Salazar and MJ Rodriguez. All right, let's get into it. Cue the music, Bree.
Little shop of horrors, little shop of terror, call the cop. Little shop of horrors, no, oh no. Little shop of horrors, bop, little shop of terror, watch 'em drop. Little shop of horrors, no, oh no.
Little Shop of Horrors is a musical with music by Alan Menken and lyrics and book by Howard Ashman, may he rest in peace. It is based on The Little Shop of Horrors by Roger Corman, and it premiered off-Broadway on May 6, 1982 at the workshop of the Players Art Foundation, WPA Theater, playing there until June 6, 1982. It opened off-Broadway at the Orpheum Theater in Manhattan's East Village on July 27, 1982. It ran for 5 years. When it closed on November 1st, 1987, after 2,209 performances, it was the third longest-running musical and the highest-grossing production in off-Broadway history. And it very well could have transferred to Broadway, but Howard Ashman thought it felt more right as being an off-Broadway show, and he was right, as we would learn in the 2003 revival on Broadway. The plot of Little Shop of Horrors is, in this campy musical based on the 1960s cult classic horror film, Nerdy Seymour, a florist clerk, buys and nourishes a Venus flytrap-like plant, which he names for his beloved co-worker Audrey. The plant ultimately grows big enough to devour everything in its path. All right. So, Andrew, why don't you explain how we cheated last time, the first time we did this show?
Oh, I just watched the movie.
Yeah, we just lied to you. So, I think in the episode we're like, yeah, in the stage show, and then I'm just doing all the talking, and then
It's
we
true.
talk about the movie, and then suddenly Andrew's piping up a lot more. So, Andrew was very lazy in the first, let's say, 15 or so episodes of Musicals with Cheese.
I liked the movie a lot. The movie, I think, is still the best version of this, but the stage show's pretty good too.
I think it goes to show how good an adaptation can be. So, you've seen the movie first, and now you've watched the Pasadena Playhouse revival, which happened within, I think it was 2018? No. Let me double check this. Let me actually Google this instead of talking out my ass.
They changed up the plant design, which I thought was very cool, actually.
It was in 2019, October 2019. So yeah, the plant design is not really a fly trap in the most conventional sense of the word. It's like this pink, like viney based thing, which I think
It's almost
is
more alien, which is maybe
very
neat.
effective.
I thought it was very cool, and it almost felt like we know we're not going to outdo the movie, so let's just do something completely different. Which I actually like.
I agree. I also love the casting. So George Salazar, who we know from Be More Chill, an amazing choice for Seymour, and he really nailed that part.
Mm-hmm.
MJ Rodriguez, I believe she is the first trans actress to play Audrey, and a lot of that innate transness comes into that character and recontextualizes a lot of the words that come out of it. So things that were funny in, say, Ellen Green's mouth now come off very sincere, very sad, heartbreaking in MJ Rodriguez's mouth. And the show itself is played a lot more dour and sad.
Yeah, I mean, it is a show about a guy, like, murdering everyone he knows, so...
I mean,
maybe it
yes,
shouldn't be the most upbeat show.
but it's also very funny. I mean, we have a dentist that, like, is a sadomasochist.
I still feel like it has the humor there, but I feel like they're trying to be more sincere with the message, especially near the end.
Yeah, and I think that works. I think that's a good idea. A few years later, I think roughly at the same time, I think they actually opened around the same time. COVID has kind of destroyed my entire sense of timelines. Off-Broadway, there was a revival of Little Shop of Horrors starring Jonathan Groff, Tammy Blanchard, and Christian Borle in the three main leads, and Tom Allen Robbins as Mushnik, who you might remember from one of our past episodes. That production,
Yes.
I think, that is just a clone of the original off-Broadway production with Howard Ashman, without anything new, except they casted like a very conventionally attractive person as Seymour, which I think is always a bad idea. That's never a good choice. And Jonathan Groff was first, and then he left the show, like, right before COVID. And Jeremy Jordan, who you might remember as the one that gets his own number in A Killer Party about how attractive he is.
Yeah, I do remember
He is now
that.
playing Seymour. And I think both of them are terrible casting choices for that. And I think this was all started by the Encore's 2013 production when Jake Gyllenhaal stepped into Seymour. Vocally, he did fine, but he's like the most ripped he's ever been in his life because he had just done Southpaw. He's got a full-ass beard going on. It just isn't right. It doesn't work at all.
This is just, he's supposed to be like the nerd.
He's supposed to look like us, Andrew.
Probably more like you. I think I'm a little too ripped.
You're more in the Mushnik category, sadly enough.
Yeah, I think I would.
Actually,
play
we'd have a
Mushnik.
pretty good Little Shop of Horrors cast right here. Me as Seymour, Bree as Audrey, and you as Audrey too.
I thought I'd be Mushnik.
Or Mushnik, whatever you'd prefer.
I think Mushnik is a funny character. I really like the song Mushnik and Son.
Yeah, that's a song that wasn't in the movie, which is what you were used to. How'd you like the new songs that you didn't experience before?
Not a huge fan of the Gas song that drags on for like 5 minutes.
That is very performance-based. I will talk about that a little later, but continue.
I wasn't a huge fan of that. I loved Mushnik and Son. Mushnik doesn't feel like he does that much in the movie.
Yeah.
And, giving him a little something. And it's funny, too. It's like, he doesn't really care, but now he's his son because he knows he needs the money. I thought that was funny.
It also makes him much more conniving, so it's easier to kind of watch him die later.
Yeah. Though he's not conniving, he's not as conniving as the dentist. It's almost like they ease you through it. They're like, oh yeah, first you're going to kill the dentist who's like a total dick, and then Mushnik who's like kind of a dick, and then, well, now you're just killing people you like.
Have I ever told you that I was in a production of Little Shop of Horrors?
I think you mentioned it once.
Okay.
Maybe twice.
Which role do you think I was cast as?
Um,
Andrew, if you know, don't answer. Bree, how about you answer first? What role do you think I was put in?
Audrey. I don't know. I'm taking
wish.
guesses.
Audrey.
I would have been a great I would have been a great Audrey. All right, Andrew.
He would have been. I feel like you were the dentist.
I was. I wanted Seymour so fucking bad too. And they gave it to
Not enough.
They gave it to the hot kid was the thing. They gave it to like the really cute crooner that like played piano and stuff, and you do not buy him as a nerd for like a second.
They switched you guys. You should have
felt
been
the
like
same
should have
way.
been the opposite.
But I didn't like being a guy that has to hit a woman, and the girl that was playing Audrey was like, just really hit me. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Are you
Really
stupid?
hit you. It's
No,
called acting.
We've got to do this 3 weekends in a row. I'm not
Well,
doing that.
she better have 6 black eyes then.
And I really like It's Just the Gas, but it really does depend on the performance. If you play it too broad, it just kind of feels like a goofy song, but if you like literally play it like you're dying, it's pretty creepy. And I've seen some good interpretations that way.
I feel like the one that I saw was playing it like you're dying.
It all depends. Like Christian Borle does it very, very big and very manic in a very effective way. And then Taran Killam, who did it in the 2013 Encore's production, also did it very well. It just depends on the kind of mood the show's going for.
I feel like it drags on a little long.
Oh,
I think they
agreed.
could cut it down.
I feel like you can cut the second verse, but you miss the gag of where you think he's dead and then he comes back, which is hilarious.
I guess, but I don't know if it's funny enough.
Mm-hmm. What did you think of MJ Rodriguez as Audrey?
Well, Audrey's fine. Audrey 2 I was more impressed by.
Damn.
No, Audrey is a boring character, almost like a nothing character. I don't really know. It's
I don't
love
know.
interest.
There's a weird thing with Audrey where it's a very tragic situation she's in. She's dating a guy that like beats her regularly and like insults her, and she just like, I guess that's what I deserve.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely terrible. But does she deserve Seymour though?
No.
Seymour is like worse.
They had to put her in a situation so bad that you want her to end up with the mass murderer because it's better.
Yeah. I mean, do you want her to end up with him, or do you want him to get her?
She is not a reward. She has more personality to be than what you're giving her credit for. Even in like the movie version, Ellen Greene plays her very spacey but very sincere. I think it's the sincerity of Audrey that really works, and how, especially in Somewhere That's Green, where she just wants very simple things that she doesn't realize to most people are kind of shitty. Plastic on furniture, a 12-inch screen in the bedroom, like TV dinners. Like, that is her idealized life, which I think does a lot of character building for what little she has already.
Yeah. I mean, she's a tragic figure for sure, but I feel like that's all she is, because like everything that happens to her is bad for the entire show.
But the thing is, Ellen Greene plays it very comedic. Like, you're laughing at her when she's saying these things. MJ Rodriguez plays it so sincere, so honest, like so much that it breaks your heart, where I think most people laugh at Somewhere That's Green because it's kind of, what the fuck? This is hilarious. Whereas more recently in that production, it's like, oh no.
Well, it's too relatable now.
Yeah. And this new production also doesn't take place in the same time setting as most productions or even the movie. In the movie, it feels like it's like 1950s, 60s, same as the stage show. Here it feels like it's either late 90s or present day, based on costumes and set design.
I was getting a present day vibe.
Mm-hmm. I didn't see any phones. I did see a disposable camera when Mushnick like pulled it out and all that.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting take.
We don't have to necessarily see phones for it to be present day. I know that that's common, but you don't have to.
I know. So Audrey 2, the puppet, the pink alien creature.
I thought it was great. I thought that it was really good. I don't think it's better than the movie, because the movie, the puppeteering and like the scale that it gives
You're not
is
gonna top
just
that.
so good. But in order to try to compete by doing something totally different, really smart move.
Mm-hmm. Whereas the one off Broadway with Christian Borle and Jeremy Jordan just does the same old shit. A guy flapping his arms in a little fly trap.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's what they sort of did in the movie, but that's like way better in like every way.
Yeah, I mean, the movie, went into this a little bit in the first episode, but able to get the effect of the movie, they had to shoot it at super speed so that the movements could track. So Rick Moranis is moving extra slow to get the thing, like to make it look like he's matching, and he's lip syncing extra slow so that when it moves, like logistically, we cannot move a puppet as fast as a human can move a mouth. So it takes a lot of doing, and it's logistically impossible.
It's actually impossible, yeah. Yeah, I mean...
So this is a good medium.
Yeah, I think it's really neat how they did it. I'm trying to remember, when it sings, I feel like it's not even really like a mouth necessarily.
No, which I also think works. It kind of makes her everywhere.
Yeah, it's just like a all-encompassing. I mean, it even literally has like arms that come out of the sides of the stage and like shit like that.
Which I think is great. It makes it scarier. Makes it much more dangerous. So Audrey 2 is usually, their gender is pretty nebulous. Most time it's played by men, though. In this one, it was played by Amber Riley, who we might recognize from Glee. And she did a fantastic job. Like, it's the same kind of energy that you'd want from Audrey 2, but a wholly different feel to it.
Where was the performer?
I think she was just off stage. I don't think she ever came on, because that's not usually what you do with Audrey 2. There's never a physical on-stage performer.
Well, I mean, I usually assume that there's like someone in the costume on stage.
They
or
are never
something.
the singer, or rarely the singer.
Oh, okay.
Because that would fucking exhaust you. Could you imagine hunching over and trying to sing while doing all that?
I mean, Jim Henson did it. On a TV show.
Jim Henson did this in a cave with a box of scraps.
You're right.
Not Jim Henson.
No. I really like that though.
Can we talk racism? Because this show's got
Jess,
some racist shit. then I think that we need to start changing it.
Sure, I'm trying to remember what you might be talking about. Go ahead.
We could always just pull out the meme where you could say, oh, there's a racism problem. Yeah, there's a racism problem. It's not racist, it's diverse. But when Seymour says, I go to the nice Chinese man, and they say, Chang Da-lu, right after he says that he's Chinese, that's that's an easy fix that we could just not have.
Does that mean anything, or is that just them, like, doing the Chinese?
That's them doing the Chinese, and it sucks. We gotta get rid of that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think the going to the Chinese man to pick something up is just a nod to the, like, Gremlins type shit that you see, you know?
I mean, if this predates Gremlins a bit, and that's just an uncomfortable trope to begin with.
No, I agree. It is. But I don't know. As this is a parody of the genre, I kind of see why it's there, but yeah, we don't have to be racist with it.
Yeah. I'm not sure I'm the right person, but I know in my most recent listen through, I'm like, I always forget that line until I hear it.
You literally could just replace it with nothing.
Yeah. Like, it's the one thing that is aged poorly about this show. And maybe just like Howard Ashman's lyrics for African American girls, which does tend to lean towards like a little on a white man's interpretation of black speak, which is awkward at times.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure if I can go so far as to call this show racist. But...
I am not calling it racist. I am saying we need to fix these two things.
Okay, that's fair. We've talked about that stuff with other shows, so...
Yeah, like Thoroughly Modern Millie is nowhere near touching that, but there are things that I'm like, we should probably fix that. I'll tweak that a little bit for the next revival.
I'm almost more offended by Modern Millie, though, just because that's such a much newer show.
Yeah. This one, it's like, it's the 80s, they were doing a thing, I get what they were doing, but maybe we should change it. Like, this isn't like cancel Little Shop, it's more like, hey, we can revise shit right now. It wouldn't affect the story at all.
Like, literally at all. But yeah.
Literally not at all.
I agree. You're right.
Yeah.
Can we just this story is just so good.
This musical is perfect in every way, and the film is even more perfect.
This is I feel like every time we cover a horror musical, it's either like one of the best we've ever covered or like just absolute garbage. And those are the only two types of horror musicals.
And then you got Bat Boy, which is right in the middle.
I don't know. I think Bat Boy is more leaning towards one of the better ones we've covered. But
I think so too, but like, where does Heathers fall on that?
Close to the better ones we've covered.
Okay. Like, I can't.
But then you have like the Frank Wildhorn, like Dracula and Jekyll and Hyde, which is like the worst shit ever. And
and then Dear Evan Hansen, which is like a horror film in its own way.
Well, I mean actual like horror genre stuff.
Now I'm just
like
trying to think.
This and Sweeney Todd are like damn near perfect.
Yeah, and they both have very good movie adaptations, which are big jumps in adaptation. Like, I respect Frank Oz a lot for just hopping in. He's like, I don't want to change much, but I do have to change quite a bit. And he's like, we need a big song at the end, write us a new song. And every time I watch the stage musical, I miss Mean Green Mother at the end. I really do. And you feel its absence.
I don't understand why they don't just add it in.
Because it would be very, very difficult to do with the way that they usually do the puppet. Now, the Pasadena Playhouse one, they could have easily done it.
Just do it.
I think it just might be licensing. Like, it would be a different show at that point.
Yeah, you might actually be right. It might literally be getting the licensing for the movie version.
Yeah.
Versus the stage show.
Because I feel like you need it. And because in the stage show as it is, Seymour's like, I can fight you from the inside. And then he just dives into the fucking Venus flytrap and then he dies. In the Pasadena one, he does that and he's fighting tentacles and they overtake him. And that's pretty great. That is a pretty good, more engaging way to kill off Seymour. But neither of them top Mean Green Mother, where he's slowly brought into the mouth and killed in the director's cut. I think that's the only reason why a lot of people thought the stage show was so much better, is they didn't have the wonderful director's cut until like 2012. And now we do, and that film is perfect. Do not touch that again.
Yeah. Like, the stage show, even without that, is still really great. But yeah, I feel like the movie is like the true version of this show in some ways, which is almost why we didn't bother to have me watch anything other than the movie. But
which is why we're doing it today, because I think the Pasadena Playhouse is the only one that's ever been like, all right, we need to find a new angle at this. And I will say the one good thing James Corden ever did in his entire life was invite MJ Rodriguez and George Salazar to sing Suddenly Seymour on his show when he didn't have to. He could have had the more famous people from the off-Broadway cast, but he really wanted that to be seen and have a little bit of that documented forever, which I do appreciate.
Thank you, James Corden.
You did one good thing, James Corden.
Thank you, James Corden. Go away.
Yeah, in an industry that's so, like, that doesn't have much trans representation, going out of your way to show it on national TV, that was wonderful.
Yeah.
Who says that we're just haters? Who the fuck said that?
No haterade here.
You know who definitely has haterade, though?
Oh, I know who.
The weirdos over on Letterboxd.
You had me for a second. I was like, wait, our patrons aren't haters.
It's time for our favorite segment. It's Previews.
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
But this week we're doing our 5 stars or 1 stars quiz between Bree and Andrew, where I go to the Letterboxd page of the Little Shop of Horrors movie and I find reviews on Letterboxd that are either 5 stars or 1 stars.
What kind of horrible people are giving this movie a 1 star?
Well, we're gonna find out today. Bree, do you want to start since Andrew started last time?
I would love to start.
All right, Ooh. Okay,
that doesn't sound good.
This is the whole review. Are you ready?
Oh no.
Yes.
It is the letter D. That is it.
Okay. So
It's a Sesame Street reference.
I'm gonna give it 5 stars.
That was a 1 star.
What does it mean?
D for failing. D.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I just was very baffled by the letter D. All right, Andrew, your turn.
Okay.
The full review of the Little Shop of Horrors movie is, what if you smoked it? I'm assuming referring to Audrey 2.
I don't think you could smoke it. I think it would smoke you.
Oh.
But if you could smoke it, it would probably be 5 stars.
That is 5 stars. Ding, ding, ding. All right, Bree, your turn.
Okay.
This one says, I don't like musicals. ... Except for Mamma Mia.
Oh no.
Jess, did you write this?
Yeah, did you? I don't like musicals except for Mamma Mia.
Which means that would exclude
Little Shop of Horrors. But I feel like this is a trick question.
Oh no, she's gonna trick herself into the wrong answer.
No, I'm just gonna give it a one star.
All right, that's correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Thank God.
All right, Andrew, your turn.
Okay.
All right, this is all in caps. Spooktober and dentist slander.
Sounds like a 5 stars to me, but what do I know? 5 stars.
That is correct.
Hey.
All right, Bree. This one's a little more vulgar than we're used to. I will say this reads like it has an accent, so I might read it with the accent. Are we ready?
Oh, Lord.
All right, the full review on Letterboxd is, I'd let the plant eat me ass, but I fart first. Farts, ha 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 ha. Poot out your bumhole.
5 stars?
That's a 1 star.
I'd let the plant eat me ass, but I'd fart first.
Farts. Ha 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 ha. Poot out your bumhole.
I think the accent really helped. But
This is a
not
he is
enough,
a
as I made the wrong
mean green
choice.
from outer space right there.
That is a mean green mother ass eater from outer space. Somebody put me to the best ass eater. All right.
I don't think that was the right
Don't just
melody
stare
there.
at it. Eat it.
Good reference, Andrew. All right, your turn. The full review. But it was so cute and harmless. ...
Was it? Okay. This sounds like someone who didn't understand the movie, so 1 star.
That is correct.
I'm good.
I'm getting my ass kicked.
Better than getting your ass eaten by the plant.
Guess so.
I just feel like I'm good at these. I don't know.
All right, Bree, you ready?
Yes.
Something LGBT just happened to Bill Murray, I think.
5 stars.
1 star.
God damn it. Isn't that good though?
I don't know.
It depends who's writing it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Andrew, you ready?
Oh, yes.
All right. You know, if I was Seymour, I would just tell Audrey 2 to shut the fuck up. No stupid plan is gonna boss me around.
I feel like he tries that. Right?
I mean, he needs to grow a backbone in general as a human being.
well, he was going to go buy it roast beef.
Go down to Schmendrick's and buy you some roast beef.
Please lose.
5 stars? I don't know.
That is correct.
God damn it.
I just literally guessed on that one. It's a
All right,
50-50.
Bree, your turn.
Okay.
Interesting, period. Very campy and very gay.
5 stars.
That's a 1 star.
Yeah, well.
Is it gay? I never got a gay vibe from
Me
Little
neither.
Shop.
Not at all. I mean,
it's fine if you do. I've never
that's
seen it.
just our critical opinion. This is much better than reading Ben Brantley. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't like losing, but it's fine.
Bree, you're gonna win, and you're gonna kick Andrew's ass soon. But I
I've
will
gotten
say,
one right.
I think I've gotten.
You've got
like, at
everyone
least-
right.
Yeah.
I will say, Andrew is the overall winner. No one has ever beaten him,
I
even
know.
the other guests. So don't feel too bad.
I literally just guess based on gut feeling. So.
Okay, so I should do the opposite of my gut feeling.
All right, let's see. All right, is it Bree's turn?
No, it's Andrew.
Andrew. All right, are you ready?
Yeah. Let's see.
Would it be funny if you made a porn parody of this movie and Audrey 2 went, "Bree to me, Seymour"?
And then you stuck your ass in and you farted.
Pooch out me bumhole.
Okay. 5 stars if they
That
want to
is
jerk
correct.
off to it.
All right, Bree, your turn.
Tell me.
What in the actual ... question mark period?
1 star?
That is correct.
God.
All right, Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Seymour Krelborn is an incel.
Incels are bad.
Incels are bad, which makes me think 1 star. I don't know if I agree that Seymour is an incel, though it's an interesting take. Yeah, we'll go with 1 star.
That was a 5 star. All right,
Damn.
Bree. I think this one you might get.
Thanks.
The review says, didn't age well. In the age of CGI, this film could have been saved. I was so distracted by the lazy work of Frank Oz.
Lazy?
I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm
Hold on,
gonna
there's
one,
a
one
There's more
star.
insanity to this review. Jim Belushi is the only credible source of entertainment in this flick, and he just comes a little too late. That is a 1-star review.
I am standing by my 1 star, so good.
Can we just talk about everything wrong with that review?
That was
CG.
Bad
There's no
take.
CG. Lazy work by Frank Oz. Like, even there's so much work on screen, no matter what. Even if you don't like this film.
How could you even? That's insulting.
And Jim Belushi is the only good part, showing that they only watched the theatrical version, and he's terrible. The wrong Belushi died. All right, let's go. All right, Andrew, you ready?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm a dentist, and this movie needs a root canal.
Someone's offended? That sounds like a 1 star to me.
That is correct. All right, Bree.
yes.
Not the horror I was expecting.
5 stars.
That is correct. All right, last one, Andrew.
Okay.
Steve Martin, you look so yummy. I'm gonna eat you. Heart.
5 stars.
That is correct. Yeah, Andrew. Once again, you win previews.
I've just done too much.
Great job, everybody. Bree, you're gonna nail it next week. I
will.
just know it. You're gonna nail it next week. Meaning,
I'm gonna
in
do
an
really,
hour.
really good.
You know who else does really good?
Our patrons.
That's right. How about we go into a Mitch show and talk about them? Hey guys, today's show is brought to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Hey Audrey 2 Drew, why don't you tell us a little bit about Patreon?
Patreon is where you could go if you want to donate money to us because of all the great content that we supply with to you for freeze.
But it's not for free, they pay for it.
They don't pay for this content, Jess. There's
You're
more
right.
content
You're
on
right,
Patreon
you're right.
that
And
you
you know
can
what?
pay for if you want.
We only talk to our patrons, you know? Like, that's just what we're known for. We don't have any Twitter accounts. The only way to interact with us or engage with us is on Patreon, apparently.
Bitch, I don't talk to anybody.
You don't. Bree, the only people anyone talks to is me. Even if they think it's you, it's me.
If I post on my Twitter, you're blessed. That is my blessing to you.
That is honestly true. If Andrew acknowledges you on Twitter, you are blessed.
Yes.
You know what, Andrew? Why don't you bless all these names for us?
Oh, Lord. Here we go. You're doing the next one, though.
Of course.
Our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Terry Needleman, John Donna, Leighton Ackles, Danielle Renix, Jess the Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Tess Gear, Fire of September, Monica Thoreau, Mina Maniri, Brent Black, Haley Murray, Nathaniel Stacy Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Carrie Ahern, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, To Blam, Kyle Summers, Janae C, Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Felice A, Liz Lim, Allison Stuller, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, John Vanals, Thesbian, Red Cullen, Wait in the Wings, Raphael Martinez Salas, Robert Benjamin, Rochelle T, Jessica T, Cass, Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, Katie McDonough, Timothy Keys, Jeffrey Machado, Chris Marcotte, Timimu Robinson, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Leela, RJ Noriga, Sebastian Canino. I gotta move these closer. Avon Reagan, Lizzie Keynes, Charlie B, Patrick Deering, Julia McLennan, Courtney Schreiner, Joe, Avery Brinson, Mary Lynn Brown, Mel Cormack, Thomas W, La Femme Fictionale, and Bjorn Hermans.
We love you all so much, and you guys are getting a lot of cool shit over at Patreon. You can see our faces. You can see Andrew struggle through those names.
I try. Fellas, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in betweens, you know I'm trying.
Let's cut that little line out there. Bree?
Whatever you want.
Yeah. Thank you guys for donating to us on Patreon. You have your weekly Patreon with cheese stuff. You got a lot of cool shit. Me and Andrew have some fun things planned in the future. He doesn't know this, but I do. It's gonna be some cool stuff over at Patreon, so stay subscribed. We're gonna have some cool things. Also, we're gonna have our monthly Patreon hangouts, and this month we're having it on Friday, October 29th, and there's gonna be a Halloween spooktacular with a costume contest. And if you win, you get a $25 gift card. So join our Patreon, do the costume contest. It'll be fun. Me, Andrew, and Bree are going to be judges. Yeah.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a blast.
I actually do want to see some nice costumes.
Are you guys dressing up?
We can, but if you dress up, we're not eligible for the contest.
Well,
Right. If you're going to
Well, I
dress
mean,
up,
I'd give myself a 10 no matter what, so.
Bree, if you dress up, I'll dress up.
Okay. As long as I have my costume by then.
If you both dress up, I'll have to dress up.
You don't have to do a goddamn thing, Andrew. You dressed up. You paint a pretty picture just all by yourself, baby.
All right. Let's
On
talk
that
about
note,
these
let's get back to the
freaking
show.
Songs. Good Lord.
Shing-a-ling, shing. What a freaky thing to be happening. Look out, look out, look out, look out. Shing-a-ling, shing. Feel the sturgeon drang in the air. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sha-la-la, can't stop right where you are. Don't you move a thing. You better, telling you better. Tell your mama something's gonna get her. She better, everybody better beware.
So the opening number, Little Shop of Horrors, is probably one of the greatest, opening numbers that does nothing. It is the prologue in the most effective way, meaning we get barely any information. It's just fun and just sets the tone.
It's like a title song. Because the real opener in, setting song is Skid Row.
Yeah, that's a proper opening number, so to say. But this is just a catchy, earworm to be let's get you ready. It's gonna be a Little Shop of Horrors.
It's literally it's like they have a credit sequence in a movie where they have a song playing over it.
Right.
And this is that song.
So you're just talking about the movie right now?
No, I mean even in the stage show, that's still what this song is. Yes.
Now, what do you think of the three girls? The Greek chorus, if you would.
I mean, they don't really have characters, but I think that they perform all the songs that they're in pretty well.
You see, I'm gonna fight you on this a little bit.
You think it was bad?
No. I think they have characters in the stage show, and in the movie they're kind of removed to be much more nebulous figures, where they're actual people that interact with Seymour and Audrey and all that in the stage show. They are characters that have names that talk to them.
I mean, sort of. I feel like they show up even when they shouldn't be there, though.
What do you mean? I mean, they also do that, but they also have conversations with Seymour and tell him about things going on.
Yeah. I guess what I mean is that they're sort of characters, but maybe they're kind of also narrator, Greek chorus, they're not really characters. I don't really know.
But in the stage show, I do not believe they have names in the movie. They are called Crystal, Ronette, and Chiffon, which are all Motown groups. That's their little tribute to that. And I think that also sums up their sound. They're a very big tribute to Motown. Howard Ashman was a huge fan of that type of style, as you can see from a lot of his other work, too.
In the entire rest of this show.
I mean, yes, but it's not just in this show. He's a very eclectic man, Howard Ashman.
I mean, as far as how they're used, it's a good way to fill out a small cast and have other characters that are extras, basically.
I agree.
That are still used elsewhere. But
I mean, kind of, but there's not many extras if you think about it in the stage show.
No, there's barely anybody. There's like the guy that shows up near the end and the reporter that interviews him.
Andrew, those are all the same person. That's all the dentist. That's all the dentist.
They're all the same. None of them. No, they have like what six actors, like total.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mushnick, you got Audrey, you got do we even count Audrey too?
As far as people that show up on stage.
Okay, you got Mushnick, Audrey, Seymour, the 3 girls, and the dentist. That's 7 people
total.
Yeah, that's a great cast. And I will say, I was really disappointed playing the dentist because I didn't like that role, but I did not realize that meant I got to play every single like other cast member. So that was a blast, like running off stage, getting into another costume, and then hopping back on to play another, like, wow, what an interesting plant, and then hopping into a dress and being like, ah. It was a lot of fun to play that role. The dentist is probably the least fun part of doing that.
I mean, I feel like you could enjoy The Dentist. The Dentist song is one of the most fun songs in the show if you do it right. I
agree, but also it's very one note.
Well, yeah, it's literally one joke. Yeah. The character is one joke.
After the first laugh of you pulling off the coat and then revealing the dentist uniform, it's done. The song you hit your one note.
Well, I mean, it's the same joke over and over. It's just that he's extremely sadistic, and I feel like you can play on that. I mean, as an actor.
As an actor, you're not given much. You're on stage and you're just singing it. You're not given props. You're not given anything. You're given the 3 girls to react to, which isn't much. Whereas in the film, you've got
so well in the movie.
In the film, Steve Martin, he got the editing. He's got random props everywhere, an extra being tortured at every second. Here, you got the 3 girls, and it's like played in the script much more sexual. Like the say is like much, and the now spit like is like a reference to like spitting cum out of your mouth. Like
I almost feel like they removed the sexuality from that in the movie,
which is
and
I
think
it
was supposed to be there the entire time, but
I prefer it not being there because I don't. That's a me thing, though.
It doesn't make that much sense because that's not what he's not getting off on it like sexually. He just likes being a sadist.
Yeah, and that's why they have the Bill Murray scene, which is in the movie, which is a tribute to Jack Nicholson, who played that role in the original Roger Corman film.
Yeah, the person who likes it.
Yeah, and that's a real. I don't think Bill Murray's very good in the movie, but I think the Jack Nicholson scene is hilarious.
It's like the only scene I've ever seen from the original movie.
That's the only scene worth seeing in the original movie.
Probably.
So Skid Row, the proper opening number. This is fantastic. Like, it does so much work. It's an I Want song for all the lead characters. I love it. This song is flawless.
Then you go
downtown, where the folks are broke. You go downtown, where your life's a joke. You go downtown, when you buy your token. You go home to Skid Row, home to Skid Row.
Yes, you go
Downtown, where the cabs don't stop. Downtown,
where the food is slop.
downtown, where the hopheads flop in the snow. Down on Skid Row. Uptown, you cater to a million jerks. Uptown, your messengers and mailroom clerks. Eating all your lunches at the hot dog carts. The bosses take your money and they break your hearts. Uptown, you cater to a million whores. You disinfect a hot on their bathroom floors. Your morning's tribulation, afternoon's a curse, and 5 o'clock is even worse.
I just think what's amazing about this show is that every single song is like just great.
Even the ones that I don't like as much are very good in what they're doing.
These 2 opening songs are like just phenomenal though. And I don't know. I feel like it gets better. I don't know.
I love this song. It's weird that we don't have we do though. like, it does a lot of like background story work and all that. It paints the world very well. However, I think it is never topped as well as the movie because of the glory of editing and how it can decide what to show you and what not to show you. Frank Oz is a brilliant director that doesn't get enough respect as a director as he does as being like Yoda or a puppeteer or Fozzie Bear and all that. But if you've watched any of his other directorial films outside of Little Shop of Horrors, he is very good and very talented. Even his Muppet movies are better than the ones directed by Jim Henson because he's a good director. He's one of the best musical theater filmmakers ever on the planet. Like, the way he moves the camera, especially during this scene, is so incredible. In a way where people are like, oh yeah, the puppet. No, the filmmaking technique.
I feel like we're just going to keep doing this.
Yep.
The movie is just the definitive version. I mean,
it is. The director's cut. Like, maybe 7 years ago, the stage show would have been a better definitive version. Now that we have that wonderful director's cut, not much can compare to it.
I think that this new version of it, though, is worth seeing.
I wish it was still playing.
I'm sure it will come back, question mark?
I think they're going to stick with, like, the original Howard Ashman version forever. Which is lame as fuck.
It's actually a shame because I feel like this lends itself better to the like stage environment. But
I agree.
I also think that they could have added Mean Green Mother with that new puppet.
It would have worked
have to
very
have
well.
The mouth move.
Let's talk about Mushnick and Son, since we did not cover that in the original episode we did, which is also a very underrated, very difficult to perform song.
How would you like to be my son? How would you like to be my own adopted boy? I never liked him much before, but count the cash that's in the drawer. I got no choice, I'm much too poor. Say yes.
What for?
Seymour, I want to be your dad. I want to see you climbing up my family tree. I used to think you left a stench, but now I see that you're immense, so I'm proposing be my son. Mushnick and Son. Sounds great. 3 words with the ring of fate. So say you'll incorporate with me. A florist dream come true. Mushnick and his boy chick, you. What business will do for FTD?
Is it difficult to perform? I didn't even think of it. I just thought it was a good laugh.
It is, but it's also a lot of character motivation there and a lot of character interaction. You could play it very sad, you can play it very funny, you can play it broad, you can play it evil, and it's finding the right one for your production.
Yeah. I think the one that I saw, it gave a lot of I don't think you'd say evil or anything like that, but it's definitely the motivation is Mushnick is basically tricking him. You know.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because you sort of see him as like this greedy sort of businessman type who doesn't really care about anyone else, but if you are contrasting it, like Seymour is going to murder a bunch of people for his business, for his business interests. So
yeah, I mean, Seymour is basically Evan Hansen doing horrible things to get a girl. Let's be clear here. Bree's got something to say. She brought the mic down.
We've closed the book, boys.
I mean, here at least that comparison's apt. And it shows that you can follow a character that does morally reprehensible things and still enjoy the piece overall.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's because the framing is there.
Yeah.
He also has a true, like...
He fucking
not
does.
He's not a... It's not a redemption, but it's like a true... like
comeuppance.
He realizes what he did was so wrong that he basically tries everything he could possibly do to fix it, and he can't.
Yeah. And he gets murderized, and it's great.
Yeah. It's just framed better. I mean, we don't have to we're done with that. That's
Yeah.
over. We've already done the perfect episode on it, and
We
everyone
did.
agrees with us now. So
We've changed the world with that episode that has not posted yet as of the recording of this.
no, I mean, it's been posted for 2 weeks. Everyone agrees with us.
Do we want to talk about the uncomfortable stereotyping of Mushnik?
Do we have to?
He is a Jewish person. The song is very fiddler leaning, with a lot of
Yeah.
klezmer stylings. And as you said, he's a greedy businessman only worried about money and will only make someone his child if it suits him business-wise. There's some uncomfortable stereotyping there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, but I feel like Mushnik at his core is kind of a likable character in a way. He's like a Mr. Krabs. You know, like he's not like evil, and his business is actually failing. You know, so you understand his motivations. It's not like he's just like already rich and just money grubbing, you know. Like he realizes that without Seymour he is going to fail business wise, and he just knows that it's in his best interest to keep Seymour around. I don't know.
I am not Jewish. I am very much a Gentile, but I would be interested in a Jewish reading of Little Shop of Horrors if someone wanted to do one.
Sure. I'm not saying there's nothing there. I'm just saying I don't think it's that bad.
All right, you heard him. You heard him, guys.
I don't know. I'm not an expert in these things. I suppose we could get... I personally wasn't reading that much into it, and it certainly doesn't feel like a Nazi wrote it.
No,
You know.
Howard Ashman is definitely not a Nazi.
You know, I don't think they're trying to say something like, "Oh, you know how those Jewish people are." Like, I don't think that's what they're trying to do.
I think they just rely on stereotypes for shorthand and storytelling, which is lazy,
Lazy, but not necessarily
malicious.
racist.
I don't know. I'm not one to say what's racist. Let's talk about Feed Me / Get It. Actually, no. We talked about them in the first episode. It's a good song. Let's talk about Now It's Just the Gas. I know we brought this up a bit.
Don't be fooled if I should giggle like a sappy, happy dope. It's just the gas. It's got me high. But don't let that fact deceive you. Any moment I could die. Though I giggle and I chortle, bear in mind I'm not immortal. Why this whole thing strikes me funny, I don't know. Cause it really is a rotten way to go.
What we have here is an ethical dilemma. Unless I help him get the mask removed, he doesn't have a prayer. True, the gun was never fired, but the way events transpired, I can finish him with simple as a fair. What we have here is a tricky moral problem. Do I help remove the mask or let him go for lack of air? Couldn't shoot him when I tried, but the fates are on my side. I can off the guy by staying in the chair.
I love this song. I love this song. I love
It's
performing it. It's so much
fine.
fun.
Sure, performing it maybe is fun. I had to watch it though, and it's like, it's long. It's too long. Just die already. My God.
I wish it was in the movie. It's like the only song cut from the stage show that I wish was in the movie. Just because I think Steve Martin would have nailed this song for one.
I mean, he nails Dentist so well. I gotta say, and I don't usually talk about performances or anything.
Yeah.
Dentist in the version that you gave me, just didn't cut it for me.
Why? I mean, I don't think anyone can cut it because the
I know.
filmmaking
I think I'm
techniques that
I think I'm spoiled, like spoiled rotten.
this is a rare thing. And Bree, I don't think you've ever heard us talk like this about a film version of a musical where the film adaptation is so good it almost ruins the original show because it'll never live up.
Yeah, I've never heard
Well,
you guys
it's
talk like
extremely rare because, you know, usually when you get a film adaptation of
It's
a musical, it's complete shit, and they fuck up everything. like including just basic filmmaking techniques somehow.
They
Like,
forget how to make a movie, but just because it's a musical.
They're like, oh, it's a musical? Oh, well, I don't know how to make a movie, so...
They pick the one guy that doesn't know how to make a movie. And yet Frank Oz, just a guy that does puppets at this point in his career, maybe who did like one film beforehand, it was a Muppet movie, is given this and knocks it out of the park more than any other filmmaker ever has with a movie adaptation of a musical.
You know why that is, though? Because
Why?
the Muppet movies are musical movies that are good.
They're so stylized, they rely on editing, they rely on puppeteering and new advanced special effects.
But they're musicals.
They are.
I mean, they're not like true musicals that you could put on stage, but
No.
like
They do
they
have songs.
are
and
music
musical
numbers, and like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He fucking aced it. Yeah, Dentist just didn't do it for me in the stage show, and I don't think I don't want to say like the actor was bad, because
No.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it was just, Jesus Christ, you can't top the movie version of that.
Can't top Steve Martin, who is a song and dance man. We know that because we love Bright Star so much. Threw the baby off the train.
Love Bright Star. We love throwing babies off of trains, and we love
The end act one. I'm still baffled by that musical.
we love Bluegrass so much. But now it's just the gas. Yeah, I guess I would have liked to at least seen like a deleted scene or something, like have a version of Steve Martin doing it, you know. I that doesn't even exist, though, I don't think.
No. Honestly, it's a really, really rough situation to be in. One song I do want to talk about that is mostly cut from the movie, but I think should have stayed in. It was shot for the movie, and it's one of my favorite songs in the musical, is The Meek Shall Inherit.
Forget the cable we sent you. It's nice to meet me. The pleasure is yours. Now let my firm represent you. We want to book you on lecturing tours. College campus, Rotary Club. The kind of bookings my office can do. Show the plant, then talk, answer questions. It's educational, lucrative too. My future's starting. I've got to let it stick with that plant in G. My bank account will thrive. What am I saying? No way, forget it. It's much too dangerous to keep that plant alive. I take these offers. That means more killing. Who knew success would come with messy, nasty strings? I sign these contracts. That means I'm willing to keep on doing bloody, awful, evil things. No, there's only so far you can bend. No, this nightmare must come to an end. No, you've got no alternative, Seymour, oh boy, though it means you'll be broke again and unemployed. It's the only solution, it can't be avoided. The vegetable must be destroyed.
So this is like Seymour coming to terms with like he's a moral dilemma of, oh my god, I have to keep killing people and this plant just keeps on eating people. I'm so fucked. I need to destroy the plant. And he's like, but then what if Audrey doesn't like me? And you kind of get why he signs the contracts. And it's this dark thing going on. But as a person that has played the dentist during this song, I run in as the first reporter, do my quick line. There's the chorus, and in that chorus, I have to change into a different outfit as people are throwing different things on me, and then I run out there and play a different role. It is so much fun. I know this is dumb, but oh my god, that song is so fun to watch, and like the result is almost always seamless.
Yeah. It's a fine song. I can see why they didn't need it in the movie.
I will say the way they shot it in the movie is good. Like, they had it as a very good scene, and it looks like it costs a lot of money because he's like in this dream world where there's like blood dripping out of the portrait of Mushnik, and it is as good a scene as any of the other musical numbers in the film. Like, it's edited perfectly. It does everything you would expect. Rick Moranis sells it. But it was probably just a time thing, which sucks because the scene's really good.
Yeah.
but you don't miss it. When you're watching the movie, you're like, oh, okay, that's gone, and then you move on, and the life's good.
It's also like it is the moment where Seymour could conceivably turn back before he causes too much damage.
Yes, which I think you almost need that consideration, and you miss it a little bit. You get it a lot in Rick Moranis' face, but I feel like...
That's why I'm saying maybe you don't need it in the movie as much, because everything is close up and you can see like the expressiveness, and Rick Moranis is doing a great job in that movie, so...
Yes.
But on stage, you definitely need it.
So, Bree, we're going to pause for a second, because I want to talk about the movie and the issues therein, with the ending specifically. So in the stage show, it ends with everyone dying and the plants taking over the world, which is a pretty fine ending for a stage show, because all the plants are coming out into the audience and it's fun and everyone's like, it's scary. For the movie, it's 1986. They film it just as it was on the stage show. Everyone dies. It's really, really sad. And the plants take over the world, and there's this really expensive, like, song number that ends it with plants destroying the world and then bursting through the film camera and then looking like it's coming at the audience. And they got the worst, like, audience feedback reviews during, like, production. It's like, we do not want this movie. This movie's bad because of that ending. We hate the ending. So much.
Which they shouldn't have listened to them.
I know. Test screenings where 3 different ones in LA where people are like, nope, we can't do it. And Frank Oz is like, I guess I didn't make it funny enough. Everyone played it too serious, so now
the ending's not supposed to be funny. It's a horror comedy.
He's like, I really didn't want to do it, but then it was basically forced on us by the studio. Howard wrote this new ending, and he just defeats the plant in one foul swoop, and they have a happy ever after. And that was the movie until 2012 when they released the director's cut, and that is like the best version of this movie. Which one do you think is better, like, just as an idea? Like, do you understand where an audience might come from there?
For not wanting the ending where everybody dies and the plants take over?
Yeah.
No. I don't know. I guess maybe if they were, like, they just loved, Seymour so much that they wanted to see him, like, continue. But he doesn't sound... I don't know. He doesn't sound like a great character.
Do I remember this right, or does Audrey live as well?
Yeah, she lives too.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
They get
that
married,
and
they did some insert shots of Audrey during Mean Green Mother, and then they just...
No, that is a terrible ending. Like, why would you do that?
I feel like for that genre, and I don't know, why do you need a happy ending? Why does everything have to have a Hollywood happy ending?
It's an allegory too.
It's a Faustian bargain.
What are you trying to say when he just gets what he wanted anyways? Like,
no consequences.
He killed two people.
Frank Oz also blamed it on the power of a close-up, where if you're in the back of a theater and there's the bows at the end and you see everyone all right, you kind of are like, okay, that's fine that they died in the story. But you don't get that. You never see them again. They're just gone and dead from the movie. And the power of close-ups and the power of empathy is more strong in film than it is on stage, because you don't have that level of, like, that fourth wall.
Just do those, like, inserts that you do in the credits where you show the character and then the actor waves. Problem solved.
You know what, Andrew? You did it. You solved the problem Frank Oz couldn't. 20, 30 years later.
I think Shrek really solved it.
Shrek didn't do that.
Actually, it
Shrek
did.
the Fourth did that.
Farquaad comes back even though he was eaten by the dragon, and he waves at the audience.
What? No, he didn't.
I think he sings in the karaoke.
Yes, he does. But are you
contest.
referring to Shrek 4D, where he shows up as a ghost?
No, I'm not referring. I've never seen Shrek 4D, which is an amusement park exclusive.
No, it isn't. They literally released it on DVD. It's on Netflix right now. We could watch it.
Oh fuck! I don't want to watch it.
Literally, we could just turn this off and watch Shrek 4D right now.
What are we doing?
All right, you guys, this was a wonderful revisit of Little Shop of Horrors, but I think it's that time and fuck. fuck me. All right. Hey guys, this was a great revisit of Little Shop of Horrors, but how about we talk about our overall thoughts and our cheese ratings? Andrew, why don't you start?
It's well, I'll talk about the stage show specifically that we saw. I really like it. I love the different style of puppet that they decided to use. And I think that it's a great stage show. I still think the movie is just kind of the perfect version, but I think that there is some merit to reimagining the stage show still, because it's still fun to watch. I don't remember what cheese rating I gave it. Where is our keeper of the cheese?
If you're willing to give me a second, I can pull it up for you.
Because I don't want to give it a different cheese rating, because honestly, we've already done.
You know what? That is a fair ass point. Bree's got to give us a new cheese rating. So, Bree, what is your cheese rating of our discussion?
This discussion was so much fun. I'm glad you guys, are righting your wrongs by going back and telling the truth and coming here and talking about the stage production. And because you guys didn't do that, right? You watched the movie. Correct?
Yeah, even though we still spent half of this episode talking about the movie.
Because the movie's just so flippin' good.
I am going to make sure I watch the movie now because I've never actually seen it.
Bree, we should have a movie night where you just come over. I'll bring out the projector. We'll do it. It'll be fun.
Okay. I'm going to give it a Munster cheese because I like Munster cheese and I like this discussion. And Seymour is a Munster. You're right.
Wow. Andrew.
What did I give it?
You gave it cheddar, but apparently I didn't give it a cheese rating.
Oh my god, that is cringe. I'm still keeping the cheddar. I know we said never to do cheddar again. But I'm only giving it cheddar because I gave it that before, so cheddar is still good.
Yeah, I guess I gotta think of my own cheese rating because I didn't even give it one. I guess the only cheese rating I can really give it is green cheese. Is a fresh cheese that is not thoroughly dried or aged, which is white in color and usually has a round shape because it's a mean green mother from outer space and I'm bad.
I see what you did, man, and it was good. It worked.
Juliet, please update that as my previous Little Shop thing, because I did not realize how many episodes early on that I just did not give cheese ratings to. I did not start giving cheese ratings until episode 10.
What?
And I did not start doing it consistently until episode 18.
Holy shit.
I did not know this. This is news to me as well. That is redonkulous. But do you know who else is redonkulous?
Our patrons?
Oh, wonderful patrons. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher at Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals, Patreon Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese. Our YouTube page is Musicals with Cheese. We have a patron-only podcast called Patreon with Cheese. Check that out. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our title card was created by the amazing Jolene Casco. Go send her some love at Jolene Casco. Our keeper of the cheese, who we love very much, is Juliet Antonio. Thank you very much, Juliet. You're the best. This show is produced by the wonderful, the incredible, one of my best friends in the entire world, Brianna Jones. We love you so much, Brianna. We're so glad you're here. We've missed you so much. Our wonderful theme songs were created by Robin Nash of IOU Music UK. So go check their stuff out. All right, you guys. Oh, wait. Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform. We love you so much.
Yes.
And not kicking us off for killing a dentist and Mr. Mushnick. Anything else you gotta say, guys?
Go watch Little Shop. It's fucking Halloween time. Let's go.
Yeah, there's not many Halloween musicals. I can't wait to force Bree to watch it. It's gonna be a blast. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese.
Little shop of horrors.
Little shop
of terror.
I don't know the words.
Whoa. Shang-a-lang. Oh.
This will all be cut.
Okay, let me do another line read then. Our senior and junior shtick, through thin and through thick, hey, through sloppy and slick. So come kiss me swick, oh, don't make me sick, Mushnick and Son.
Bravo! What a beautiful performance. That one's staying in.
I played both the roles.